creative friends, welcome back to my channel. Today we are working with this Egg Hunt cut file. Now the file, there'll be a link to it below in the comment section. You can grab it in my Etsy shop if you like, or you can just watch this video and see how I am using it to put this spread together. So the first thing I want to do is back the cut file. And I chose to use the Valiant Sketchbook collection, primarily because it had these really adorable bunny die cuts. And so I was like, this is going to be a perfect Easter collection to use. So I picked out a few pieces of paper from the 6x8 paper pad, and I'm going to use those to back the different letters. Now what you can see is I've turned the cut file upside down, and then I turned the paper upside down. And then I trace the letter onto the paper, and then I am cutting inside the pencil line to make it just slightly smaller, and then that will give me the right shape to go behind the cut file. Now you'll notice me doing a little bit of trimming, but it's so minor, and it's probably just because I'm a little bit of a perfectionist when I do these type of things. Generally, when you trace the letter like I'm doing here and then cut inside the pencil line, you'll have almost no trimming that you need to do. But if you do need to do some trimming, just make sure that you are very careful and not cutting into the cut file. That would be the only thing that I would caution you about when you're doing any trimming. So you're going to see me back two of the letters here, the E and the G, and the rest I'm going to do off camera. It can take a little bit of time to back a cut file, and this one's pretty small, so generally didn't take me too long, but since you have to cut out each letter and do some gluing, it takes a little bit of time. So now, from the magic of editing, we have a fully backed cut file. It also took me some time because I wasn't sure if I wanted to include that yellow gingham, and I ended up doing it, and I love it. And you'll see why when I do my embellishing, why that yellow worked out so good. So now you might be wondering what these little pieces of white paper are. This is actually the first time I've done this. I cut out some basically templates. They were 2" by 3", and I cut out a bunch because I knew I wanted to have a lot of pictures on this layout because it was from an Easter egg hunt, so I had taken a lot of pictures. Didn't know what size the pictures were going to be or how many I could fit on the layout. By doing this little kind of collage with the templates first, I knew that the 2x3 size was going to work and that I could fit 9 photos. And it also helped me to know what orientation those were going to need to be printed as. It worked out so great, and I haven't done this before, and I'm going to do it again if I have multi-photo layouts that I want to do. Usually when I do things like this, I end up printing the wrong size or needing to reprint, and it worked great. So I've got my 9 photos. I adhered them down off camera. I also noticed I had adhered down my Egg Hunt title using a T-square ruler. And now for the rest of the layout, I am just going to be auditioning embellishments, and this actually is a good chunk of the video. I chose to leave it in because I really did change things up from what I originally had thought I was going to do. So as you can see, I've got 2 large flowers and 2 bunny die cuts sort of nestled in the little crooks of where those photos kind of come together, and there's like a little hole. And I really liked how those die cuts nestled in there. But then once I started putting down more flowers and more elements, it started getting way too busy and not very cohesive. And so I think at one point I stopped the camera, take everything off, and kind of do some thinking off camera. You see I move those flowers and bunnies down, and then I moved them back up. And then I really liked at the top having some vertical elements kind of to bring my pictures in together, sort of hug the pictures a little bit. And although I liked the idea of it, right now that just looks too busy and I'm pulling that off. And then not having anything up there just looked too empty. So I kind of go back and forth going, okay, this is too busy and this is too empty, and you'll just see that. I did cut a bunch out, but I just wanted to leave some in. I went through the whole die cut pack, or dumped it all out, and then I'm now putting things away that I know I'm not going to use. There was some fruit die cuts. I knew I wasn't going to use that. I think I left the butterflies out initially thinking I might use those because it's a spring layout. But ultimately, at this point, I've now made some final decisions of what I know for sure I want. And I really liked having the flower cluster, that group of flowers, nestled to the right of my bottom picture. And you can also see I moved one of the bunny and flower embellishments down. And what I ultimately decide is I liked how having one of the clusters move down to the right corner and then having that other bunny and flower cluster up kind of by the top of the title, it sort of hugs and nestles your eye to look at all that work I had done backing that cut file in that title portion. Now, I liked that part, but I also needed something up at the top. And so I wanted some more embellishments to basically kind of hug and bring my photos in. And so I'm liking this cluster that I'm taping down now with some leaves, variety of leaves and florals. And then at the top, I do a little bit of playing around. I'm putting a bunch of things down, deciding it's too much, taking some things off, and it's just a process. The long, that thing in my hand right now is actually a branch, and it had a bird on it, and I used those in each one of my clusters there, and I cut the birds off because it was supposed to be a horizontal die cut and I needed it to be a vertical element. And now it just looks like leaves coming off of a flower cluster, and it's perfect for what I needed. I needed some different height to round out my clusters. So now I'm getting to the end. I am putting down the last final pieces, just pulling that bunny up so I can tuck that down. And yep, I am finishing up the top cluster, and basically what I've done is I have different elements on each area of the page to bring your eye from the top left over to the right, back to the left at the top of the title, and then back over to the right. And now I'm just finishing up with some enamel dots. If you have any questions or comments about this layout, please leave them below and I will get back to you as soon as I can. If you are interested in grabbing this cut file, that will be linked below. And I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you get some crafting done today, and I hope to see you again in the next video. Thanks for watching.